Welcome to Padres Talking Padres. We got 2 weeks left, 10 days left for the season starts.
No, it's next week,
Is it next week? Next
next
Thursday?
Thursday. Yeah.
Well, you know what? And we're not going to be here because you're in
I will
Reno,
be
right?
out of town. I will be watching the game in a smoke-filled
Sports.
casino in Reno. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Which is okay. I mean, the good thing is that my travel plans are limited, so I'll get to watch both of the games, and I'll be back on Saturday to watch the Saturday night games. So
There
looking
you
forward
go.
to it, though, man. Been itching. I know WCB just got done. Did
And
you watch any of it?
I watched when Mason Miller would come into pitch, I'd watch, and then I'd
Yeah.
watch a few innings here or there. I didn't watch a whole game. I mean,
Yeah,
I would
I
watch.
watched the last four innings of the last game.
Yeah,
That's all I watched. But again, I don't think there's anything wrong with the tournament. It just doesn't have my interest. Um, again, we covered it last week. I'm not an Olympics guy either. I just uh, made put together teams that to me just don't interest me a whole lot. But sounds like it grew a great audience and grew the sport, all those kind of good things. So I'm happy with the good results as far as that. But I'm ready for
actually, you look
real
at
baseball.
you look at the roster for the USA team, and there were guys on there. I'm like going, well, we don't have any better. But you like what's his name for Detroit? He didn't. He pitched one
Scooble,
game.
yeah,
Scooble, and there, a lot. Bueller didn't play, not Bueller. Bellinger. There was a lot of players that chose not to play.
insurance problems with other teams too,
Yeah,
especially the.
and so you look at that, I go, to be fair, the Dodgers roster is better than the USA roster.
Well,
Especially when it comes
look,
to
I'm not
starting
going to take
pitching.
away from any of the guys that were there. They're all stars, or
No,
or real
they're
close
all
to it. But
they're all
yeah,
good players.
is it the best team that you could possibly put together? No, but again, I think you could argue that with some of the other international teams, not all of them, but some of
Oh
them.
no, I agree.
Yeah,
I just was like going, huh. But no, I was reading Twitter the last couple of days, and all these fans. Another reason to hate the Padres because the Padres said you can use Miller,
yeah.
but only in a save situation.
Well, that's before they drew the home team designation. So to be
Yeah,
fair, that was probably given to them, and
right.
I mean, and therein lies the problem with it. Your rosters are not always 100% the best, right? The other thing is the usage, and to be fair to all the clubs sending these guys to this event, like man, I mean, look at what happened to Edwin Diaz 2 years ago
Mm-hmm.
or 3 years ago in the WBC, and he's out for the year. So yeah,
Right.
you got some teams that are a little skittish about the use of their players and stuff like that. But
I don't like I said Miller is our main guy in the bullpen.
yeah,
I'd hate him get hurt in this game that really to me doesn't mean that much.
yeah. It meant
So
more to some country, or from the country aspect. And again, national pride. It's a great thing to have. I'm not damning that that attitude and everything, but yeah, I'm more worried about the San Diego Padres than I am about winning the WBC. I
right.
timing is everything, and they actually asked Mason Miller today what his thoughts are on the timing. He goes, it is what it is, and I'm not sure you could put it anywhere where there wouldn't be concerns about the usage, at the end of the year or the winter and all that. But I read an article. Well, I kind of skimmed over an article by Jason Stark, and his ideal was to play the first round robin rounds when they did right now, and then come back and make it All Star Week and have Monday be the home run derby and Tuesday be the All Star game, and then take it off on Wednesday. Then Thursday have the quarterfinals, and then Friday have the semifinals, and then have the final on Saturday, and a day off on Sunday, and then go back to work. And I'm like, that I don't I actually like that better, but you're still going to have the usage problems.
Yeah, and
But
you're also
the one thing I do like about it, or did like about the idea, is if you made it all in one city, everybody's already there, so there's not a whole lot of traveling around, and then also you're only bringing the final four teams or the to and it just made more sense to me. I don't
I
want it. period for me. But yeah,
I hear what they're saying, but to me, if I'm a player, I don't mind going to the All-Star game because that's like like a party atmosphere and stuff like that.
yeah,
But I need a break. I mean,
yeah.
it's a long season, a lot of traveling. If I'm a player, I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that either.
Well,
I need
if I were commissioner and you made me do the WBC, I would get rid of the home run derby and the All-Star game, name the All-Stars, and just bring the WBC in for 3 or 4 days and call that your All-Star weekend.
There you go.
But the bottom line is they're not going to do that. And again, I get the growth thing. It's the same thing as the NFL has done with the international games. And to their credit, it is working. They're starting to get more traction on, the London and the Germanys and the different locations. And
Spain.
Obviously that commits this, to sales and things like that, plus just interest, growing the sport. So I get that part of it. But again, they didn't ask me. And I'm a week away from a real season for me.
Yeah, they didn't ask me anything either. But I was like, I don't want Mason Miller getting hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, he was money. I mean, he just was unhittable.
What were your thoughts, Jack? Again, I watched the last 4 innings of the championship game, and they had, the DR game. That's the game I actually watched the last 4 innings, the DR and the United States. What were your thoughts when it was setting up that if it wouldn't have been called strike 3, which is a horrible call, by the way,
it was a terrible.
It was going to be Miller against Tatis, and it's like, I told my friend Michael, I was like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it. I really don't.
I gotta be honest. Tatis, even though I'm an American, Tatis has been on the Padres a lot longer than Miller. I would have been rooting for Tatis.
Yeah. I'm glad it didn't happen, because that was my biggest fear going into that game. Is like, please don't let it be Mason Miller against Tatis or Machado. Yeah.
Tatis had a great series. He had a great series. So I was like going, I don't know. I was like, all right, let's get this guy out. I said the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't want to see that. No, it's kind of like when Ohtani faced Trout.
Yeah.
Yeah, both teammates at the time, and
I mean, it's all in fun and everything, but I just, Anyway.
Yeah. But it didn't happen, and so we move on to the regular season coming up in a week, and I think you touched on it last week that there's a chance that Joe Musgrove may not start the season on the regular roster, and that's why I said, say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so. Now, of course, people on Twitter, you got the extremists, worst contract ever by the Padres. I go, not even close.
Yeah, and I totally disagree with it even at this point.
Yeah, not even close. I mean, like I think you said, that was it 2023? No, 2024 when he got against the Dodgers. If he's healthy, we probably go to the World Series.
Yeah.
So I mean,
much better chances, put it that way, instead of having to pitch Dylan Cease on 3 days.
Go down and look at go look at the line of the Padres' bad contracts. This one, even you got one on current one. Hugh Darvish is far worse than this one. But anyway, losing Musgrove.
Look, I don't think anybody can predict injuries and that's going to happen. All I can look at is performance on the field when they're healthy. That's like to me saying that the extension for Jackson Merrill is horrible because why? Oh, because he only played half the games last year. Well, how about let's let this ride out before we
because it's only been he's only 22.
Yeah, so
let's not panic yet. But with what was I going to say? I think Padre fans need to realize we're not the Dodgers. The Dodgers have like 8-9 starting pitchers. Blake Snell's not starting is not starting the season either, but it doesn't matter because they have a long list of guys that can go and start. Padres have to do with what they can. Maybe I would not, we've talked about it before, I'd be hesitant to give a pitcher 5 years just because of the injury factor. But again, if you want to keep good pitchers, you're not going to keep them if you're not going at least 5 years.
It seems to be the benchmark, 4 or 5 years. But the bottom line is you're taking a chance with any contract. I guess that's always my point, Jack.
Yeah.
Is like, no matter what you do, you're taking a chance, They get insurance on these guys, so it covers the bills, so to speak. But it takes away, obviously, from what you financially can afford as far as your luxury tax. That's the difference between the money and the luxury tax and the money that you're spending on the salary. They're totally different. So, um, I bottom line is, I don't think this is a matter of Joe couldn't go if he needed to. I think this is a very strategic and calculated thing that they're going to do with him. I know we don't have the final rosters, but I think they're going to do the same thing with Jason Adam. I think they're going to do the same thing with Matsui. Guys who are on the cusp. It shows the depth that we have this year compared to past years. We talked about last week. I think it's 8 games in the first 11 days. You really only need to have 4 starters. We'll probably use 5 because my prediction is it's going to be, Pavetta, then King, then Vasquez, then Buehler, then Marquez. And why would you burn up the, I don't know, 100 to 140 innings that you're going to get out of Joe Musgrove in April when you can get by for a month or so? Let him get right size. Same thing with Jason Adam. It's not his arm, but it's being able to field his position. Why are you pressing it? We have huge depth in relievers to the point where it actually might be a good thing to have guys start on the IR, because you got guys like Bradley Rodriguez and Hart and Sears and you just got
let's don't go crazy with Sears.
Well, I like Sears, and again, he only had 1 start for us. I mean, 2 if you count the last day of the season, which didn't matter. But I got no problem with these guys coming in. I like having a couple of long lefties, and whether it's Hart or Sears, I'm good with it, because when do you use long relief? Well, when you've already kind of blown your game, so to speak. The starter hasn't lasted but 2 or 3 innings. If you use them under those occasions, it's like, you know what? I'd love to have a guy with a 1 ERA come in the 3rd inning on a 5-0 game, but you're not going to do that. You're going to bring in a guy like a Hart or a Sears, and they might be able to go out there. I mean, Hart did it a couple times last year, where he came in and pitched a couple of great innings to kind of get us to the other guys.
We said last week Hart has pitched well out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
I mean,
and who's to know, Sears might be the same, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know, but yeah.
Could be. I mean, it just depends on if they make the team or not. I mean, it just because there's a lot of guys in that bullpen.
Well, and that's the point of my theory, is that I think that they're going to be more than willing to say, you know what, Jason Adam, love you. You're going to be here for the long term. We're going to let you take another couple weeks or a month. You look at it almost like an extended spring training. Obviously, regular season counts, but to give these guys an extra 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even a month to be able to heal up and be 100% right, you've got some depth there that you can maybe try out and find out if Buehler and Marquez are the guys. Maybe it's it's not a sure thing. Maybe there's a time where you got Bradley Rodriguez and you go, you know what, let's use him at the outset, and things will sort themselves out, as they always say. You got 8 guys in the bullpen. If 6 are doing a great job, then the other 2, you find ways that's like, okay, well, we got a couple of guys coming back. Maybe we not let them go, but maybe we option them out, or maybe we trade, whatever it might be. So,
kind of bullpen games. I mean, I don't like bullpen games, but you got to do what gets you to the end of the season, as healthy as possible. But yeah, I'm not panicking over Joe Musgrove. He'll obviously pitch this season.
Oh yeah,
but they're being cautious. And I'd rather, like you said, I'd rather him pitch at the end of the year than in April.
Yeah.
Or May. Again, the games do count, but you want him for the playoffs if we make the playoffs. But
yeah,
I think
and he's even said is that a lot of people. He's obviously, these guys reach out to guys who've gone through it, and Joe has admitted it's like, a lot of guys who have gotten this before have said that it's usually about 2 years before you really get kind of 100% recovered. Well, he's a year and a half, so. To me, it's like Jason Adam. They're saying the same thing. It's like they were not expecting him until like May or June when this all happened last year. And he's so far ahead of the curve. But does that make you want to say, oh, well, let's hurry up and get him back then, because maybe he can blow out his Achilles again, So I think that they haven't made that announcement. I just won't be very surprised if they do. say, hey, you know what, we're gonna, and that's the conversation I'm seeing Stammen and Prell are gonna have with Jason Adams. Like, look, you're solid, man. You ain't going anywhere, but we're gonna give you another 3 weeks to kind of get into shape, make sure that Achilles is 100% before
Well,
we bring
especially
you
with
back.
a leg injury, because a leg injury could lead to doing something different in your delivery, which could
Mm-hmm.
lead to an arm injury.
Yeah,
So you want to make sure,
that's
the
Dizzy
famous
Dean.
what
Yeah,
Dizzy Dean broke his toe
yeah,
and changed
altered his delivery. Yeah,
altered his delivery, hurt his arm, and was never the same again. So you have to, there's precautions with these guys. And again, if we had a bullpen that was like, oh my God, we had the worst,
yeah,
you might want to rush them back a little bit, but you don't, like you said, you don't need to.
no,
Well, on paper, you shouldn't need to, because on paper, I think we have the best bullpen in baseball.
I believe so, and I don't think it's just in paper. I think it's been proven out over the last couple of years. Um, you know, it's always hard to say, oh, we're number one, but I tell you, in the last 3 years, we've been 1, 2, or 3 every year. So, go ahead and start the arguments. I remember it was last year going to the playoffs, whether it was us or the Mets who had the best best bullpen, and it's like, really doesn't matter. You give me tell you what, you give me a top 5 offense, a top 5 defense, and a top 5 pitching staff, and a top 5 bullpen. I'll take my chances. I don't need to be number one.
No, you don't have to be number one. You just have to be
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm have the have Manny come back to Tease? Have they played any spring training games?
They're playing tonight. They're in the lineup, and I love the lineup. And I was gonna, once we got done with the pitching, I was gonna kind of lead into that. Well, since you brought it up, Jack, they posted the lineup today, and it reads: Cronenworth, Tatis Jr., Merrill, Machado, Sheets, Bogarts, Andujar, Fermin, and Lariano with King pitching, which
Lariano's batting last.
Yeah. So again, I'll give this to Craig Stammen. He made it hard for me. We have a contest at my golf course there where you have to enter in your starting lineup for starting opening day, and whoever gets the most right wins whatever prize. It's nothing huge, but so I entered mine in, and I was telling my friend Michael, it's like, this is tough because we've had Manny and Tatis and Bogarts gone for so much of spring training. Stammen's been throwing like everybody all around and everything. Now, the only reason I put my lineup in, and I put in I got it right here. I put Bogarts at short, Merrill in center field, Tatis at right field, Machado third base, Castellanos DH, Lariano left field, Cronenworth second base, Ty France at first base, and for me at catcher with Pivetta pitching. Now, I did mine for 2 reasons. Number one, I thought, well, as many entries as there's going to be, I'm going to take a chance to put Ty France because I think he makes the team. I think if he makes the team, I think he plays first base. My other one being because we're facing a left-hander, Skubal, I put Bogarts up at the top. But I really, really like Cronenworth leading off. That he was within 1 point of having the highest on-base percentage next to Fernando last year.
He did walk a lot last year.
He walks a lot. And now I wouldn't want to use him against a left-hander maybe, although his splits are pretty doggone even. I was really surprised.
Skubal's a different beast. I mean, that's a
but I mean, but still, when you look at his splits, it's not that far off that against the lefty and the righty kind of thing. I was kind of surprised. There are some guys who are more exaggerated, but he's not one of them as far as his on base. But I still, I could see Bogarts against a lefty and Cronenworth versus a righty. That's just spring training Jerry trying to make up a lineup here and everything. But I saw the lineup for today, and again, it's just one time. But I was like, I like that lineup. I like that lineup a lot. So Lariano being down there that far, I'm not sure of. But who else are you going to put down there? Now maybe it's I think the idea was to get Fermin separated from the top of the lineup. So, you got Lariano, down there with a little bit of speed. That's by far, obviously, the first time that I've seen Lariano's name that far down. So I don't know what's in play here, whether it's more about trying out guys up more in the middle to see what they can do versus, Lariano, hey, you're not going to hit there during the season, but we're just going to put you down there so we can get these guys back in there. So
And
So
also
many options. So many options this year, don't you
also
think?
you have Liriano batting at the bottom if he comes up leading off, or if
Yeah.
then he's a good hitter, has some power, might punch a home run. So yeah, I on paper I like the Padres team. I mean, I Castellanos is to me is it's a steal. I think. I mean, even if he doesn't pan out, doesn't really
That's
matter.
the thing. Who was it? Was put out an article about the Padres and the worries and all that kind of stuff. And I got it. It was kind of a caption of all captured all of the Padres, right? So to me, people are correct in the concern of the starting pitching. I don't think, even as an optimistic Padre fan, I can sit here and say, "Oh, we're so solid with starting pitching. We're we're there." I don't think too many people would disagree with me that says, "Yeah, if there's one place that we're worried about, it's the starting pitching."
Oh yeah,
Um, but I was taken back when they talked about, they're worried about, talked about Preller bringing in the kind of the old guys again. And I'm like, Castellanos is not an old guy. And you know what? He hit 250 with 17 home runs last year. That's not, doesn't fall in that category. You can have concerns about his clubhouse. I don't think it is, but you can have concern over that. I don't think there's any concern over, what his hitting ability is, like he's over the hill or anything like that.
he's only 32.
Yeah. And
Something like that.
guys like Ty France and Andujar, I don't share the concern that they had over the, bringing in these, projects, as they call them.
It's not like Castellanos has old man vibes. No offense. Look, I'm an old man, and he doesn't have old man vibes.
Twice his age, and I don't have old man vibes. Come on.
But what was I saying? Ozzy threw me off track here.
Yeah.
No, they might be older guys, but they're not like the guys we brought in like last year.
Yeah.
Those were old guys. Those guys were not, so they were not only old, they were done like 2 or 3 years before that. I mean, they were old. These guys have still been productive.
Right.
They're still productive players, and we're not asking them to play 162 games. We're asking them to fill the bench.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Castellanos did not have one of his better years. Okay,
No.
But most of his negativity was because of his outfield play.
No, he's not good defensively.
His WAR brought him down a lot. On the offensive side, he hit 250 with 17 homers and 72 RBIs. Struck out too many times, no doubt about it. But then again, compared to his teammate at the time, Kyle Schwarber, he struck out 60 less times than Schwarber. So, you tell me,
Yeah.
I think the biggest concern coming over is, is not so much does he have anything left in him as much as, hey, he's with Manny. I don't think the clubhouse thing's a big deal. He's playing for the league minimum by the Padres for the Padres. So, yeah, I just don't share. I don't share the concern.
He's also playing for a big contract next year.
Yeah. And the other thing is, to me, is the backup that we have, because Andujar is a very solid player. So the difference to me last year, Jack, at least as far as I remember, we had Hayward, Gurriel, and Connor. One of them had to play left field. And whichever ones didn't were on the bench. And you're like, okay, even if one of them gets hot, we have no bench. That was the problem, Whereas this one, it's like, man, you got Andujar, you got Castellanos, you got Sheets. I think you're going to have Ty France. That's just my opinion. If one or two of them aren't playing, you have a bench. Or if one of them doesn't pan out, you still have an option. You don't have to go, oh crap, who are we going to go try? Who are we going to pull up from minor leagues to take that position? And I think that's what makes them stronger this year. And again, maybe some of that's spring training talk, right? We're all optimistic, but
you're always positive. I mean, again, I would, like you said, I would never, if someone up to me, I go, no, I'm not overly confident about the Padres starting pitching. I think it'll be good, but is it lights out? No, it's not.
No.
Now, if Buehler can come around, if Buehler had a great outing his last time in spring training, if Musgrove can come back, if Pavetta pitches like he did last year, if King can bounce back, that's pretty. I mean, on paper, those pitchers have done it before. So and
Sure.
Vasquez, I forgot about Vasquez.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of people, don't you think a lot of people, even Padre fans, look at it and say, okay, where's your ace? Where's your true dominant ace? And quite honestly, I don't know if we've had one for quite a while, maybe since Jake Peavy, where you go, that's the guy, that's number one, no doubt about it.
Right.
He's going to be solid. We've had some good pitchers. We've had some good pitchers who had great years. Dylan Cease, his first year here, was great. He drove us crazy, but he was great. Michael King had 1 year where he was great. And Pavetta's had 1 year where he was great. Musgrove had 1 year where he was great. So the pieces are all there. The problem is the Cease is gone and Yu Darvish is gone. And now you got Joe on the on the IL. And so now you're kind of leaning, okay, well, Pavetta was last year an anomaly. I don't think so, but maybe we'll find out. Obviously, we will find out. We won't maybe find out.
Yeah.
You have Michael King, where if he's healthy, I have no concerns about him. And I think last year was just one of those years where he just got a couple of dings and just couldn't go. I don't see any problem. But I'm hopeful. I think Buehler is serviceable. Again, we talk about it all the time. 5 innings, just give me 5 solid. Him and Herman Marquez, if they can just be the 5-inning guys, just go out there and throw me 5 innings. We got a good enough bullpen. So I see our question from Oz there. Waldron, that's a problem. He's got no more options. He's been hurt. And I think he's just now starting to throw again. Problem is if he's not on the roster, the 40-man, or if he's not on the roster come 4 or 5 days from now, he's got rights to walk away.
Which he probably would.
And he'd have to clear waivers too.
Yeah. I just don't know with Waldron. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he pitched the day that Buehler pitched. 2 innings, gave up a run. Not bad for spring training. But again, I don't see him as a starter.
Yeah, he's I don't know. Those guys are just hard to tell. But, I feel for the guy because I like him. He seems like a really likable guy.
I like him.
But because of his injury, he hasn't really had a chance to have a good, a spring training that you could talk about. And I know the Padres know him well enough that they probably don't have to see him pitch to make the decision. But the fact that he has no place to go anymore, it's either he's on the team or he's not. It's not a, and that's, one thing, I don't know the roster up and down nearly as well as I probably should. But guys like Bradley Rodriguez, we were talking about earlier, he has options left. So that may work against him, so to speak, because, hey, you know what? We think you're of major league quality, but we're going to send you down because you're the odd man out as far as having options.
The problem with a knuckleball pitcher, and I know he doesn't like to be called a knuckleball pitcher, but let's face it, he's a knuckleball pitcher.
Less than he used to be.
Yeah. Is he throwing less knuckleballs?
That was the signal coming out of spring training when they first started spring training, is that he was going to throw a lower percentage of knuckleballs and his fastball was going to be used more significantly.
Was his fastball still in the low 90s?
I could be my foggy memory, but I could have sworn it was like 93, 94, which I know is not like, but I think the major league average fastball now is like 94 miles an hour. I think that's the
then that takes away, if he's throwing less knuckleballs, that takes away my argument, because probably the knuckleball pitcher, I say you could use him in long relief, but they come in, and if that knuckleball ain't working, it's just lights out.
Well, historically, that was his problem. And, there might be a philosophical difference, as far as, even though it's Niebla still, maybe that was Schilt or, whoever is telling, hey, we want him to throw the knuckler as much as possible.
Well, he doesn't want to be known as, he said it outright, I don't want to be known as a knuckleball pitcher.
Well, and a lot of pitchers go through that. I mean, they were talking about Buehler, and Buehler, used to be hard four-seamer. I mean, that was his pitch. And now his sweeper isn't going his sweeping as much, right? They got all the metrics of how far it bends and all that. and they were talking about him becoming a different pitcher. That's what he's going to have to do to get anywhere now. And we've seen guys make that transition. That's the thing, So, I don't like to count anybody out just because they lost a mile after off of their fastball, which he did. He went from 95 to 94, and the break isn't as much. But man, we've seen our share of them. Roger Clemens at the end of his career. Greg Maddox is probably the best example.
Trevor Hoffman.
Trevor Hoffman was always a sinker ball pitcher, but the bottom line
but
is
he used to be able
that have changed.
But Hoffman used to be able to get the ball up there like 95, 96, but tore his arm up a couple of times and change up, and everything else. Frank Tanana is a great example. Frank Tanana was with Nolan Ryan with the Angels. He was a power pitcher.
Yeah.
And then he had to, Tommy John had to change the way he pitched. Yeah. So
it's not always a surety, obviously, and it's up to the pitcher, and that's the thing, because I try to see as many of these little quick 60-second to 2-minute interviews that they have, and they talk about some of this stuff, and to me, you can almost hear the willingness of Buehler to recognize he's not the same guy anymore. That he's looking at how to do things. Joe Musgrove, before the season even started, said, "I've heard it. I'm paying attention. I'm willing to not make every start. It's what I need to do because I want to be pitching when it means something in September and October. I want to be there. And if that means skipping a few starts, then so be it. I'm going to be a good soldier. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to."
Well, he's a great teammate. I mean,
that's why, we talk about him and Darvish. Isn't that the best thing about their contracts? I think it is. Yeah. I think they've meant a world to this pitching staff. I think Niebla deserves a lot of credit, but I think guys like Musgrove and Darvish have a lot to do with the makeup of this.
Well, King always praises Darvish.
Yeah,
he always praises Darvish. But with the it's like guys like Buehler, and sometimes you have to, it's hard. I mean, if you're used to going up there, and since you were in Little League, you're just chucking the ball by people, and all of a sudden, oh wait, now I got to change my style. That's not easy. It's an ego thing, but then again, I'm like a guy with Waldron. If his best pitch is the knuckleball, then that's what. If he wants to stay in the major leagues, he has to go with what works best. Of course, I'm not there with him, watching him pitch and stuff like that. But I just see when he throws his fastball, maybe he'll mix it up. I don't know. We'll see, but I think you have to do whatever it takes to stay in the major leagues. If you want to keep playing, you have to do that. It means changing, like baseball, changing like a batter, changing your approach to hitting. We've seen, obviously, what's his name for the Yankees? What's his name? Played center field for us. One of the most frustrating. Trent Grisham. You sit there and watch him go, what is he doing? I mean, and obviously now he's aggressive and he's hitting the ball and he's hitting home runs. I mean, I realize he plays in Yankee Stadium, makes it easier for a left-hander, but still, he finally changed his approach to hitting. Ozzie Smith, perfect example. What's his name? Herzog said, "You need to hit the ball on the ground." They had
a bet where every ground ball he got paid from Herzog and vice versa. They had a fly ball, but
because you're not. It's like in major leagues, Willie Mays Hayes. He had the speed. They said, "What are you doing? You're not a home run hitter. Get the ball on the ground. You just got to get on base. That's how you're going to help the team." So some guys just don't want to. You got to know a man, like Clint Eastwood said, a man's got to know his limitations. So, which is a classic line, but it's true.
Well, I think the other thing is guys mature and they start realizing, hey, I'm going to be out of the game if I don't get better at something.
Exactly.
And I think Trent Grisham is a good example of that because, we knew he had the stuff. He was one of those players that would just make you overjoyed and then get you so frustrated. But he hit 34 home runs for the Yankees last year. His average is the same as it was with us, 235. I mean, it's but again, I will say sorry, Michael, but yes, that right field porch is.
It does. It helps a lot.
Is an ego booster for any left-hander. There's no doubt about it. But that being said, he was always a terrific center fielder and obviously a very fast runner and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes guys go to another team. I mean, look, Nick Pivetta, did for us. I mean,
Yeah.
he had been a good pitcher, but he was great last year. Absolutely great. I don't think there's anything I could have asked more out of Nick Pivetta last year. It was a brilliant signing, especially when you get him in February or whatever it was, March last year.
Yeah, it was towards the end of spring training. I know
that. Some people have even predicted that Preller is not done yet.
I don't think he is. I mean, it's
I think he's going to be active at the All-Star break. I'm talking about before the season starts.
No, I know. I mean, we've talked about it a couple of times already. This spring training is, you never know with him. He's always thinking. He's always tinkering.
Yeah, I think if there's anything, Jack, I'm not going to disagree. I think if there's anything, it's going to be when rosters get cut down. Is there somebody that you sit there and say, that's better than what I got? So yeah. I'm not afraid of Michael. Well,
I kind of picked on him a little bit when he was showing how show the video of Tatis getting thrown up by Aaron Judge. I go, yeah, he's a great throw, but if only he could hit in the big games. Then he had this long response. I go, I was just kidding, but that's okay.
Come on, Michael, take a joke. Yeah,
I will say, I've said this 100 times. If Judge would have signed with the Padres, he'd have at least one ring.
Yeah.
He's the missing piece. He's that guy that.
Yeah, you can say that about a lot of teams.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
What team would not be better with Aaron Judge? Let me see. Nobody.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You put him him in right, Tatis in center, and Merrill at short. Because you
I don't. But see, the thing is that doesn't always match. I'll use Juan Soto as an example, and. Look, I've said it a lot. Look, there's Aaron Judge and Ohtani, and they're up here. They're by themselves. I don't care what anybody says. They are in a whole different atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
But you got guys like Soto and Acuna and Rodriguez and Tatis and all that. They're not that far behind Soto being there too. But Soto was on our team, and you know what? It didn't make us a better team. Because sometimes it's what you give up to get there too, So, yeah, if I could just go hand pluck somebody out, yeah. If I could have Ohtani or Judge on our team right now and just say, well, we'll give you back our worst player. Well, yeah, I'd like our chances a whole lot more.
I'm saying his Judge was a free agent and he was offered a contract.
I know,
but
and anyway. When Preller was alive, so was Soto, and so was Ohtani.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went after them all, when Peter was around. So
it's just a shot at the Yankees because they haven't won a World Series in forever for the Yankees.
Well, we haven't won a World Series, so
but the Yankees.
That was Jack, Michael. That was Jack, not me.
When you think World Series, you think Yankees. They have 27 of them.
I don't. Not necessarily. I'm not a big on the history thing. It's like what happened back in the 50s and the 90s even. It is so irrelevant to what it is now. If the Padres won a World Series this year, let's just say they won a World Series, and when me and you were far gone from this earth and, in the year 2050, you really think anybody's going to sit there and go, well, those Padres, they won in 2026.
Wait, so 32 years, I'd be 95. So you don't think I can make it to 2050?
No.
You're probably not wrong.
And I'm not going to be there either. So
95. Oh,
yeah.
My body hurts now.
Yeah.
I woke up. I took a nap today, and I woke up. And Cindy said, "You were crying." I said, "I wasn't crying, but I have a repaired right shoulder, and it popped when I was sleeping, and it hurt it hurt. It hadn't hurt that bad since a year of recovery from the surgery, because it takes at least a year for it to bounce back. And I said, she goes, okay, you were moaning. I go, okay, I'll take the moaning, but it woke me up. I was like, and I did have tears because it hurt so bad. And I'm like going, man, but so 95, unless they come up with something that you can put into your system to make you feel no pain, I don't want to be around.
Put me in a coma until they get the aging figured out. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I guess they have something that can do that, but it hasn't been proven yet. Anyway, back to baseball. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the season. I kind of mess at night. There's really nothing to. There's no sports going on right now. You have no football. I don't follow the NBA. Aztecs didn't make the NCAA, so I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's just
it's there's no doubt it's tough right now. I mean, I do watch some college basketball, so I'm, obviously I'm a little bit invested in the whole, March Madness. I not to the extent that maybe I have been in past years, but I'm definitely there. As far as being excited about and everything. But it pales in my love of baseball. It's they're not even close. Football comes closer. But yeah, opening day can't get here soon enough. I'm truly excited about this year. I think I'm even more excited than last year. I go back 2 years, maybe I was more excited then, with having Soto and thinking, okay, here we go. We're really gonna, we're gonna make some things happen.
And we had good pitching and good bullpen and.
Yeah. It was our year. We should have done it.
So, that was the year Hader said, well, I can't pitch. Sorry. You know what?
I'm excited with our new manager compared to having, sleeping Bob Melvin.
Are we doing
I did
today? I guess we have to.
Oh, well, yeah. I already have my lineup, Oz. I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. This is my prediction for the opening day lineup. I got Bogarts at short, Merrill in center field, Tatis right field, Machado third base, Castellanos at DH, Laureano in left field, Cronenworth at second base, Ty France at first base, and Fermin catching with Pavetta being the opening day pitcher. That's my prediction.
I can't argue. I'd flip flop. I'd put Cronenworth 9 and move Fermin 8. And who was the other guy? Who'd you have 7th?
Ty France. Well, I had Cronenworth and Ty France, but
I'd have Ty France 7, Fermin 8, and Cronenworth 9. Just because you're going against Google.
Yeah, and Oz is probably talking about our predictions for the like the first week of the season, or that we cover. Because I won't be here, I guess we need to make them right now because we're playing. Let's see. We'll be perfect. We'll be playing 6 games. We'll be playing Detroit Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then we'll be taking Sunday off, which is rare, but not unusual for the first week. And then we play San Francisco here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then Thursday's a day off. So we'll have a day off. So we'll have 6 games, Jack. 6 games, 3 against Detroit, 3 against San Francisco. What is your call?
Both good teams. I'm going to say I'll be happy with 3-3. Now I want more. But I'll be happy with 3-3.
I think we go 4-2, and I think we beat Scooble. I think it's the best time to face him. The first, I think he's going to go out there and he may put in 5 good innings, maybe even 6. But I think Pavetta will match up with him, and I think it's a low scoring game. Opening days traditionally are, not always, but they traditionally are usually the pitchers are ahead a little bit. I don't know. I just think our offense clicks quickly again next year, and I hope it does what it did last year. The first, 10 games where we
started out like gangbusters.
Oh my gosh, we were ungodly. It was just unbelievable how well we played the first 10 games last year. In fact, I'm bringing it up. Last year, our offense was going well. We lost a lot last year. Oh, that's spring training. Jeez, I knew that wasn't right. Yeah, we started 7-0. And then we went to Chicago and had to play in the blizzard, freezing cold. We lost 2 out of 3 there. And then we came back and went on another big streak. So last year, after 14 games, we were 10-4.
Yeah.
And that's about the time that unfortunate stuff started happening.
King went out.
King went he went out later, but that's the first stop for Merrill. That's when he pulled the hammy.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And so then the offense kind of went a little bit. But having said that, we went through that 4-game losing streak. 5 out of 6 we lost to Detroit at Detroit, and then we lost 3 in a row to Tampa Bay, and that's when it kind of hit the sour note. But then we went out and won 6 straight, and at one point we were 23-11. So we were 12 over 500 after 35 games. I mean, so I don't see that that's going to be beyond what we could do this year. I know the schedule is, I think it goes in our favor. Let me look again. First half here, we play here against Detroit, 3 against San Francisco. Then we go to Boston for 3 and Pittsburgh for 3. And then we play Colorado here and Seattle here for 4 and for 3. And then we go back on the road. But yeah, middle of April we'll play Pittsburgh, Colorado. Yeah,
Pittsburgh has improved though.
They've improved. We might. Who knows? We might even see Paul Skeen for the first time this year. And
I'm okay with messing.
I know, but I find it's nobody's dodging anybody, but the schedule so far has worked in our favor. We have not faced Paul Skeen in 2 years. Yeah, so we'll see. And a lot of that it's about matchups. Who's going to town and you're seeing 1, 2, 3, and then other times you go into town and you're going 3, 4, 5.
He doesn't have to pitch in San Diego till he's a Padre, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know that. There's part of me, the traditionalist part of me that says, I hope Paul Skeen is a Pirate for life. I really do. I think that's good for baseball. I think every team should have those 2 or 3 guys. Me, I look at it. It's like, you know what? If I live long enough, which I'm hoping I make another 10, 15 years, I want to see Tatis and Merrill side by side the whole time, just for their whole career. Because some of the most famous pairings you do kind of get, I get a little bit resentful. It's probably not the best word, but you see the Dodgers with Say and Garvey and Lopes and Russell, 15 years, the same infield. You see Lou Whitaker and Trammell. And I get envious of those guys. We've got Tony Gwynn, we've got Trevor Hoffman. So I know we've got a few of those guys, but just I revel in guys who are you think of the guy and you automatically know the team. You don't have to sit there and go, well, who's he with now? Who's he playing for? Yeah, that's what Peter
Seidler's dream. Yeah, that's why he signed Cronenworth to a long contract, and that's why Tatis to a long contract, and then when they signed Machado and Bogarts for so long, because Padres didn't have they don't have that history of players being on the team. You look at a guy like Jake Peavy. He was 4 years, and boom, he was gone. 4 or 5 years.
Consistency to me is great as long as they got the right players, and I think we do.
Right. Yeah.
But again, it can backfire. I mean, I'm not saying they're done yet, but Atlanta's had a lot of trouble ever since they looked like to me they were doing the right thing, and I never blamed them when they did it. When they signed, Riley and Acuna and all these young guys to these contracts. And then they went and got Olsen and signed him, extended him for 7 years or whatever it was. And I'm thinking, man, that's got to be great, man. You've got like the 5 best players on that team for the next 7 years. Like, what's that feel like, And now I feel like we're close to that. Now, I don't want to get a whole team where it's like, okay, we're all locked in. We have no room to move anybody or anything like that. But I do like the Merrill progression. I hope that we get some consistency. I'd love to find us a starter we could do that with. Maybe it's Schoolcraft. Maybe it's Kurt Schoolcraft. I mean, he's probably, 2 or 3 years away still, but maybe that's the guy. I'd like to get somebody like that. I'd love to get another hitter where you can sit there and say, okay, who's the next left fielder? Okay, let's get that.
The only problem is with Preller, I don't think you can count on young pitchers because he uses those for trade bait.
Yeah.
I mean, how many young pitchers have we other than bullpen? Those guys seem to stay, but starting pitchers, what's his name?
Well, I haven't had too many home projects that have come through because, we probably traded away one, and I'm not going to say he's the greatest thing in the world, but the kid we traded to Milwaukee or to Kansas City, Bergert.
Oh, Kolick and
Bergert, Yeah, not so much Gore. Gore's still inconsistent.
I'd take Gore back, but as a fourth or fifth pitcher. He's not a number one or two.
He is for Washington, but not for us. I would agree with that. But
those
there's a lot of pitchers I go, well, if you gave him to us, okay, I'd take him as one of our pitchers.
Well, I read the other day, those two pitchers we traded, Kolick and
Berger.
Yeah, they're not starting for the
That's why I am. Excuse me. I say on one hand, I'd love to have some new young kids as starters, but I still have the same mode of operation. If I was GM for the Padres, I would buy my hitter, or I would try to raise my hitters, and I would buy my starters. I mean, to me, that's a philosophy that can work very well. Go get the sure thing. You know, you're gonna have to put out some dollars for the pitchers, but if you can bring along guys like Merrill, where even with the extension is a bargain, and get these guys when they're young. You can sit there and talk about the first, 3 years of Tatis before you decided to extend him. I think that'll look like a bargain in another 5 years. Seems like a high price now, but with the Tucker deal, and he's getting $70 million a year. I mean, I think, I think 25, 30 million is a bargain now. Shudder to say, but don't you? I mean, it just seems to me.
Oh yeah.
If you can find good hitters, then you can go buy your pitching. And it's going to cost you, but you can go buy them. And now it seems like the mode of operation for a lot of GMs is to go buy them and give them options out. I know Preller likes to do that ad nauseum. Kills me because I hate seeing these like, oh, great, he pitched great and now he's going to leave, but. Every once in a while, you get lucky with a king, and it's like brought him back on another option. It's like, okay,
right.
But I think a lot of these guys take the option.
I don't think King had a choice. Being hurt all last year, I think he had to do. He's got to show that he's capable of going all year.
Well, according to him, he got offers, but he waited because he wanted the Padres to call. Because he even said, I was relieved when, his agent said, yeah, I got a call from Preller. And he goes, oh, good. Because he didn't want to leave.
Oh, he likes it. He likes it in San Diego.
Now, again, he's got an option. But I think some of these guys are taking options because I think they're worried about the ownership thing. And they want to make sure I don't get stuck someplace where you're going to divest all the talent.
Right.
And I don't think the new owner will. I don't even know who they are. But I think that's one thing that the Seidler family is really trying to ensure. They haven't lied to us to this point. They've been very, very transparent about what they're doing and what they're trying to do. And they have said they're going to be in San Diego and we're getting ownership that's going to continue the work of Peter, so.
Well, again, if the Padres, I know we've talked about this before, if the Padres had like 15,000 people showing up for the game, I would be worried about the team moving. And I'd worry about the team trying to be competitive. But when you're second overall in Major League Baseball attendance, I think that
with a much smaller stadium,
smaller stadium, that has to show that if you continue to put a good product on the field, the fans will continue to. Now you just have to hope that Major League Baseball works out something that can make the competitive balance as far as the.
Sure. But I think that's outside the ownership thing. I don't,
I'm just saying that, but
except for the people who are just like trying to make drama out of it. I don't think there was ever anything in the cards to move the Padres away. That's just somebody's made up, drama to try to stir the pot.
That was never Barry Bloom, right?
I don't know. There was a lot of national writers saying, they may move now, so no. I've never even lost an ounce of sleep thinking, oh, they're going to take the Padres and take it somewhere else.
I used to like Wayne Lockwood. Who was a writer for these?
He was a writer for the San Diego Union, and Barry Bloom, No,
I never liked Barry Bloom. I always liked Wayne Lockwood.
Well, now we have Kevin Acee, who tells people that somebody's going to retire, even though he hasn't said he's going to retire.
Kevin Acee is he's a tool.
I know he apologized for that, but that's, to me, it's like, no, you're past an apology fixing anything right there, buddy.
Yeah,
you went way too far.
You went way too quick with that one. I gotta be first. And then Darvish says,
apparently somebody did that to a well-known sports writer did that to Rojas of the Dodgers said he was getting an 80-day PED suspension.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he had to apologize because it wasn't true. Can you imagine that? You put
That's
out an
horrible.
article. Yeah, that's defamation, man. I mean,
I'd sue.
I'm not a big lawyer guy, but man, I'd have to think about that one. It's
Because
like,
once
dude,
you put
just,
that PED out there,
yeah, that's horrible, man. I mean,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? You know,
I hadn't seen that. No.
yeah.
What writer was it?
I can't. I know he's a national writer, but not one that I know. But I know he's quite a well-known writer. But yeah,
That's brutal.
yeah, that just happened. I think yesterday. I was
really?
seeing that. Yeah, and I hadn't seen the article. I just saw the apology that he put out there, and they had Rojas on a podcast, and I don't know which one it was, but they had him on a podcast.
Well, everybody has a podcast.
He was talking about, yeah, I know it. Yeah, that's true. Even we have a podcast.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They now give Golden Globes to podcasts.
Oh, wow!
Because Amy,
I guess
Poehler,
we'll have to get our suits dusted off, huh?
Yeah, because we'll probably be at the Golden Globes, man.
Yeah, I mean, with our 120 viewers or whatever.
Yeah, Evan Durelich. I don't even know who that is.
It might be close. It might be close. I don't recall.
I don't know who Evan Durelich is.
Yeah.
But no, that's horrible. I mean, I'm usually like anything bad that happens to Dodgers, I'm okay with, but that's not right. That's just not right. But what are you gonna do? That's just the writers out there always have to be.
Let's see who it is here. Evan Drellich. Yep, that's it. You got it, Oz. That is correct.
I don't even know who that is.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if he's of the Athletic. So that's pretty big. Yeah.
Be honest with you, I know they apologize, but they should be suspended, or
Yeah.
I mean,
he said
that's a big one.
I think he got mixed up, is what it was, because Johan Rojas of the Philadelphia Phillies had a failed PED test in February. So, but still, check your sources, kind of thing. I get that. Anyway, so we got Oz has got 5-1. You're at 3-3, and I'm at 4-2. I think we should write this down and make a contest of it this year. You have to be exactly right to get it. I'm laying it on you, Jack. You get a tablet after we're done. Anybody listening, if you want to start in the weekly, we'll do it. Just a reminder. We will not be on next week. Yours truly will not be available, and we'll be back. We'll be back in 2 weeks, which I believe would be the 2nd of April, 2nd of April.
Jerry,
4-2 for the first 6 games.
Oz 5-1. Jack,
and you were 3-3.
Well, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's 6-0.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we're all wrong.
Yes, join the Discord.
All right, man. Well, I'm looking forward.
I don't know that I don't have the link to the Discord. Should I?
You can put it in after the fact, can't you?
Yeah, I probably can. All right, guys. I think this is going to wrap it up. Jerry, enjoy your time in Reno next year.
Thank you.
Next week.
Next week, yeah.
Next year.
And let's go Padres. I mean, let's just I hope we have as much fun as we did last year or the year before, where we're talking about winning and not what's wrong with the Padres. More of that was always nicer. Yeah.
And hopefully I'm around in 2050.
There you go.
That's all I got.
I'm rooting for you, Jack. I'm rooting for you.
What good is if you're not going to be there? I'll be doing this damn podcast, but I'm at Jay's not going to show up. And I'll be doing
24 years. Yeah. I'll be 91.
91.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Guys. Take care.
Thanks for everybody who joined us.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.